What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everybody who support the platform. Much love, and we are back with another video. And in this video, I want y'all to get down in the comment section and leave your thoughts. But this video is going to be a question. Do modern day black men suffer from Stockholm syndrome? Do modern day men suffer from Stockholm syndrome? Now, before I get into the video, let's get the definition of Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is a coping mechanism. Pay attention. Stockholm syndrome is a coping mechanism to a captive or abusive situation. People develop positive feelings toward their captors or abusers over time. This condition applies to situations including child abuse, coach-athlete abuse, relationship abuse, and sex trafficking. Now, when I ask the question, do modern day black men suffer from Stockholm syndrome? Just based on that definition, what do you think? Get down in the comment section and let me know. But it's evident based on how these black men are running and chasing behind Just Pearly, Mrs. Pearly, Miss Ann, the white woman on a plantation, because we want to act like white women didn't own slaves too, and didn't have slaves too, and didn't run plantations either. We want to sit here and act like that too. But that is because you men are suffering from Stockholm syndrome. See, just like y'all forgave her white daddy, you'll forgive her. You'll still go and try to join the white manosphere. Now you want to be part of Mrs. Pearly's organization. You want to be one of her colored boys. So yes, indeed, I do think modern day black men suffer from Stockholm syndrome because we rather go and sit at someone else's table instead of building our own. We want to run to every other group and beg for agency instead of having agency amongst ourselves. We want everyone else to love and care about who we are, except us. Black men want everyone else to care more about our problems than us. We want to run to every other group and ask for welfare instead of providing welfare for each other. You see, we wouldn't need to go and ask no system or no other people for nothing if we understood that we're our own agency and we provide welfare for each other. This is why the biggest problem, the first problem, and the biggest problem is unification amongst black men. Because once we unify, we can rectify. We can rectify these issues as a group of men. We can attack poor health conditions. We can attack joblessness. We can attack fatherless homes. We can attack the high incarceration rates. But this has to be done as a collective, because that is what white men have done. That is what Asian men have done. Because that's how it works in politics. And how do you, and what does every politician focus on? Getting a black vote. Y'all better pay attention to little old Pearly. But I understand a lot of you men aren't, because you're suffering from Stockholm syndrome. You're trying to make excuses on why you should go back and deal with your captor, with your oppressor. You see, they don't care about dealing with us because we're the oppressed. It's business. You see? But we won't get our personal business together as Black folk. We won't heal. This is why we can't build. We got a bunch of niggas running around here thinking they doing something different because they're going to run to a white woman and get a check. That's no different than you running to her father or her growing up and watching other groups of men run to her people for money, run to her people for jobs. What do you think she's going to create? What do you think she's going to create? She's going to recreate the same system. That's all she's going to fucking do. But you Black men, you love abuse. See, I told y'all this a long time ago. A lot of y'all have BDSM fetishes. So you love this type of abuse. You love this type of torture. You see? You love to be handcuffed by your own shit. You men want to stay bound and gagged. As soon as they set your ass free, you come running back home because you a lost nigga. You a lost puppy. All you know is master's house. That's all you know. This is all Black men know. Master's house. You see? These men don't understand that they have the mindset that if master's sick, we sick. These Black men have that mentality. Look at these guys that ran over to the white manosphere. To seek what? Agency. That's Stockholm syndrome. This is Stockholm syndrome. You don't see no white boys running to our shit. You don't see no Asian boys running to our shit. You don't see these boys running to be around us because they don't suffer from Stockholm syndrome. Black men do. You want to run back to that same white woman that was getting Black men killed on plantations, sneaking you in them barns, convincing you to have sex with them or making you have sex with them, and then getting you killed when they get caught. We've seen this done plenty of times. We see this happen to Black men on all levels because Black men are suffering from Stockholm syndrome. That's what we're doing. We're running back to the abuse. We're not running away from it. And we're trying to make excuses up on why we still want to deal with our oppressors. You need a bag, you need your bills paid, you trying to be successful, you trying to do business. It's always an excuse. But none of those excuses never compels these people to uplift you and your people. Why is that? You never thought about that, did you? All the ass kissing, all the jiving y'all doing, still as a collective, why haven't Black men moved anything? Because you're nothing but a worker. What do you think Greg Adams and all of those dudes are in the white manosphere? They're just little old content creators who actually makes those white men look good. Those white men in the white manosphere don't make Greg Adams look good. See, because it doesn't work like that. The narrative wasn't created that way. So it's yeah, you may have guys from the white manosphere in his chat room. Yeah, they might share his videos, but how much is that really impacting his brand? The way him being a black man dealing with them affects their brand. See, I want y'all to understand this, brothers. Y'all are dealing with Stockholm syndrome. What are the three components of Stockholm syndrome? Victims of the formal definition of Stockholm syndrome develop positive feelings toward their captors. Oh, well, what's wrong with Pearlie? She's not even that ugly of a white woman. Positive feelings. Well, I'd rather deal with a white woman than a white man. What, you forgot that white woman was by his side on a plantation? You forgot about that, right? Victims of formal definition of Stockholm syndrome develop positive feelings toward their captors, and sympathy for their causes and goals. Y'all make excuses. Y'all make excuses. Oh, well, it's really just business. It's really not that personal. And da 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 and da 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 da. Y'all start making excuses for y'all fucking oppressors. Like, oppression in its entirety isn't wrong, isn't negative. Y'all make excuses for it. And the same ones who've always made excuses for white supremacy, who tried to say white supremacy didn't exist, for you same guys who wanted to run away from being black first, wanted to run away from being pro-black and not stand with your people, shows that you have a level of Stockholm syndrome, because you're doing anything to prove to your captors that you forgive them. That you don't feel the way you're supposed to feel about what the fuck they've done to you and your people. You see? And this is why Destiny talked the way he talked to you, angry man. This is why he spoke to you in that way, because he don't have to respect you. You know why? Because he know you a punk ass black man who want to act like him, who really wants his life. You see? Pearlie brought her African boys, her African sons, to show you American niggas how to behave when you around her. You see? And that's another way to market to American black men with Stockholm syndrome. Look, this is a place for you, black man. You can come here and get a job. You can come here. I'll make sure you can pay for your families and take care of all your bills. Just come and work for Miss Pearlie. Just become one of my sons, and I'll take care of you, baby. You see? Y'all don't even see the play, because y'all don't understand Stockholm syndrome. Y'all are starting to build up positive feelings about being oppressed. This is what y'all are doing. And then if you could get you a little check and a little job, just like they want black men to aspire to do, to just be low-level niggas, right? What they do is then they come back around and they offer you niggas jobs. You see what happens, black man, when you want to drop the ball when it comes to owning some shit? Now they coming back handing you niggas applications. Sign up to be Mrs. Pearlie's colored boys. Go grab an application. Go and work for the same people who have enslaved you and your people for years. Oh, I ain't never been a slave. Really? You know what economic slavery is? You know what economic slavery is? Why don't you ask Mrs. Pearlie? Because that's what she's here to try to clean up. Because you know who had to deal with economic slavery first? The white woman. You see? But see, we can't forget that that white woman is the daughter of that white man. She's the granddaughter of that white man. She is the ancestor of these white supremacists, of these oppressive men. But black men, we've grown an affinity for white women over time because throughout slavery, they was allowing us to sleep with them. Some of them helped some of us escape. Some of us grew up and had white teachers who were nice to us. And that's cool. I'm not sitting here saying, all white people are bad or all white women are bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm speaking on what we're looking at here and how black men have been defeated so much mentally, man, that we're really not even understanding what we're doing anymore. Now black men are just going along to get along. Now we're doing anything just to pay our bills. We're whoring ourselves out to this white woman, which is what they like from black men. I did a show about this a long time ago. Everybody looks to get a nigga for cheap. She already came in here and showed y'all that. We're having these African men do her work. And yes, she's going to pay them more than her oppressive daddy and grandfather did. Of course, she's going to do that. But that doesn't mean that you're still not a slave. You see? I really need y'all to understand this, man. And I want y'all to get down in the comment section and let me know what y'all think of this. Are modern day black men suffering from Stockholm syndrome? Because it says victims of formal definition of Stockholm syndrome develop positive feelings toward their captors, and sympathy for their causes and goals, and negative feelings toward the police or authorities. So the men and the women who are speaking against Pearlie and the shit that she's doing, we're receiving pushback because of your Stockholm syndrome. So when you hear these guys like your Trey MBDs, your triple blacks, these are guys who are suffering from Stockholm syndrome. Angry Man, Obsidian, and the litany of other men who think it's cool to defend their oppressor. Because see, the first thing y'all gonna say is, ain't no white woman ever oppressed me. You see that? That's called sympathy. So now you want to remove what happened in history, which involves you and your people. All you got to do is trace your history. See, a lot of y'all say that you don't come from that, but you don't know that. You see, you could say you don't come from something, but how do you know? Did you do the research? Or are you just talking? And when you do that, you're showing signs of Stockholm syndrome. Because then what you're doing is you're feeding their narrative that, oh, it wasn't me. My people didn't enslave you. So when y'all say this type of shit, understand what that denotes. You see? See, because those people over there in Germany that had to deal with the Holocaust, you're not going to make them have no sympathy for the people who done what they done to them. You're not going to make those people forgive. You're not going to tell those people that they just need to get over it. That it happened and they need to move forward. You're not going to tell those people that, but you could tell slaves that. You could tell black people that. You could tell people who don't have no pride and no dignity and no knowledge of self. You can tell them that. You can tell them that you just got to move on. But you notice you can't tell other groups of people that. Because they don't suffer from Stockholm syndrome. They don't suffer from Stockholm syndrome. That's why you can't tell those other groups of people not to go and get what's theirs, not to go and fight for what's theirs, die for what's theirs. Just like you couldn't tell us back in the day. But it seems like modern day black men are much more docile. They're much more cooperative with this slavery system. And this is embarrassing, man. But then we want to get on black YouTube and talk as if we're ready to exterminate one another. But we don't want to get rid of the conditions that plague us, that creates that attitude that you have against me, that creates that attitude that we have against one another. See, we don't want to go up against that system. Because the only way to combat a system of injustice is to create a system of justice. But if the men don't stand on righteousness amongst each other first, what are we doing? What are we doing? And now the men who are pushed to the forefront are the men with Stockholm syndrome. Y'all get down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all tuning into the video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you are notified every time I drop some new content right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to all you visionaries. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.